Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 16 of the Fit in 10 Challenge, and if you guys don't already know, the Calorie link for your scans has been put up, so you can go ahead and book your scan for next week. Running them Saturday through to Monday. www.calendly.com/train-on-main. Go there and book your second scan. Yes, that's right. Next week is your second scan. Calendar regarding the classes. So there's been more classes added next week. Of course, all the intro to Fit in 10 classes switch to lift camps. But I've also added another 3 additional classes. So we've got, in addition to all the intro classes becoming lift camps, we've got now a 7 a.m. on Monday and Friday, and we've also got a 5:30 on Friday afternoon. So now we have 28 lift camps. So the week before we had 21 lift camps, now we have 28 lift camps. So I'm hoping that this is going to help out a lot. I know all the classes are full, so if we have to open more classes, then we will. Okay. You need to get 3 lift camps in per week, right? All right, so, this is a great question that was asked, that I answered a little bit yesterday about why we need so many, why you think you're getting so many calories, but you're actually really not. But why why not just give you less calories, right? I mean, why not? I mean, you would lose more weight, so why not just give you less calories? So, really what we want to try to do here, and again, I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible and just touch upon this over the next couple days, is we talked about the 4 things that contribute to your overall energy output for the day. And what we want is we want the body to be, as when it comes to weight loss, we want the body to be functioning as metabolically inefficient as possible. We want it to burn through as much energy as possible, essentially doing whatever tasks it's doing, right? We don't want it to burn less if we're trying to lose mass, right? In particular, fat mass. So what happens if we take the calories too low? What happens if we create too much of an energy gap? Okay, the energy gap being your total energy that you burn per day. Okay, so again, we're looking at things like your BMR, right, your basal metabolic rate, your exercise activity, your non-exercise activity, and of course the thermic effect of food, right? All of that together burns a certain amount of energy every day. What happens if we counteract that? Okay, so we got all that energy going out. If we now fill in our energy intake with something that is much lower than the amount. So let's say, how much lower, okay? Let's say at least 25% or more. Okay, what's gonna happen? Well, what do you think will happen? Of course you're gonna lose some body fat mass. If you go into a really huge deficit, you're gonna lose some muscle mass for sure. But ultimately what the body wants to do is it wants to close that gap. It wants to take that energy gap and close it. So it's going to do everything it can do to try to become more energy efficient, okay? So let's talk about some of those things. So here's what we see, and this is done by, or this has been shown in peer-reviewed studies, of course, university research. So these are the types of things that we see when people follow too much of a calorie deficit. We see a drop in thyroid function. We see a drop in total thermogenic energy expenditure, so basically temperature of the body. We see a drop in resting energy expenditure. We see a drop in overall exercise energy expenditure. That's right, so even doing the same amount of exercise, we see a drop in the amount of energy that's being expended. We see a drop in the non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. Okay, so the same amount of energy that would go towards that, we see the body is expending less energy to do the same thing. We also see increased sympathetic tone. Okay, so you basically you begin to become more relaxed. You don't move as much as what you normally would. We see a decrease in leptin output, and leptin is a hormone that essentially makes us feel full. So we see a decrease in that hormone, and we see an increase in ghrelin, which is the hormone that makes us feel hungry. Okay, so in the short term, in the moment, doing lower calories works. Okay, but we have to think long term. So if you go in a super caloric deficit, eventually you're going to reach the point where your total energy expenditures dropped tremendously. Okay, more so than if you had done less of a deficit, of course. And then you are also going to be in this situation where we want to eat more. Okay, and I'm going to leave it there I'm going to leave that there today, and then I'll talk about it more tomorrow. Okay, because I'm already at 6 minutes. Okay, I'm doing good. So we want to thinking about creating a deficit. Yeah, we want to have some deficit, but not too much of a deficit every day, because in essence, the analogy is sort of like you need to drive your car from point A to point B, and what you want to do is you think that you need to floor it all the way there, and you think there's going to be no repercussions to your car, or no repercussions at all in any way, shape, or form by literally going pedal to the metal the whole way there. Okay, you don't need to do that. To go from point A to point B, it's not going to help you. Okay, long term, it's not going to help you. You need to just go moderate. Okay, and this is why it's very dangerous to create too much of a deficit. Okay, so I'll talk more on this tomorrow. Message of the day. Message of the day is, and this is very, very important, so I want you to hear this one out. It's very true. Every meal is a short-term investment in how you feel, a mid-term investment in how you look, and a long-term investment in your freedom from disease. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Every meal is a short-term investment in how you feel, a mid-term investment in how you look, and most importantly, a long-term investment in your freedom from disease. Okay, and let's just touch upon that just a little bit here. So when we look at things that are often lifestyle related, so this exercise would obviously be included in this, or lack of exercise. So poor diet and lack of exercise, we see obviously heightened blood sugar levels, we see hypertension, we see obesity, we see general inflammation in the body, we see abnormal triglyceride levels and abnormal cholesterol levels in the body, or cholesterol carrier levels. And this is related to, this is related to what you eat, and of course your exercise. Okay, the type of exercise or the amount of exercise that you're doing. And what these things tend to result in over time is increases in metabolic dysfunction. Like we start to see things like increased chance of developing heart disease, of developing or incurring a stroke, or the biggest one here probably is type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is just skyrocketing and has been skyrocketing over the last 20 years. So, and this is, these are all, heart disease might be a little bit harder to avoid. Certainly your lifestyle affects it, as well as, stroke. Type 2 diabetes is 100% avoidable, okay? So, all right, that's all I'm going to say. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude. Day 16 wrap up, and I'll talk to you guys all very soon. See you guys.